Hey, what's going on? Better late than never. This is episode 61. This is Ego and Vice with my new co-host, actually my old co-host, Steph Goodwin.
Well, hi.
All right, let's see how this goes.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.
Born and raised in South Bay, lower class punk ass, I was Northwood grade. I had it made. Spent my nights drinking with my mates. Just a short bus ride up to PA. Red River Red. Then I hit the wall and I knew I had to bounce. They still say that 19 years ago, well, I got the hell out. From time to time, you may see me hanging around. Now I feel like a stranger in this town. Crocs and rolls is where I learned to play. Westwood Tavern's where I learned.
Yo, yo, yo. Yeah, this is Ego and Vice, episode 61. It's been a bit of a time since I did a podcast.
It's been a little while, but it's okay because right now we're in that sort of spot like between Christmas and New Year's where time doesn't really have any meaning. That's kind of where we're sitting right now. So I don't think you have to worry about anything being late. It happens right when it needs to.
I actually just got really lazy. Like, I was on a pretty good roll there for a while, and I can't even remember when the last one I did was.
I couldn't tell you either, but that would require me to listen to them.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. No, I meant to take like some short time off, and then it just got longer and longer, and you get away from anything. It's just hard to jump back on. But however, it is like getting back on a bike. Is that what they say?
I think so, but I think at this point we're kind of riding uphill on one of those like gravel roads, and there's like someone actively trying to throw sticks in your spokes.
Right.
It's a little rough out there.
Yeah, it's a little rough. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Ego and Vice.
Thank you.
I did a solo podcast. I always had guests on, and I'd have co-hosts and stuff. But I think that was one of the things why I took so much time off, is just because it was a lot of work by myself. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And when I didn't have guests, I lost the interest because I didn't want to sit here and basically talk to myself.
Well, you were the most difficult guest of all.
Yeah, well, that's right. I'd have to sit here and look in the mirror and hello, self.
Do some deep emotional dives.
Yeah, so me and Steph used to do a podcast called the Ohio and Irish Show a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was dipping our toe in the podcasting realm, and then everything, life happens and stuff like that. And then I went on with Ego and Vice, and Ohio and Irish kind of dropped out. So I figured, what the hell, the time has come. Let's put the two together, and now here we are with Ego and Vice.
Yeah, it's not my first rodeo. Let's
Yeah.
get back into it.
That's right. So how are you? What's going on?
Oh, Jesus. Well, it seems silly to ignore the ginormous...
You're really pushing for that, eh? This is like the third time you're like, well, it's pretty bad out there.
Well...
You're trying to hook me. You're trying to bait me. I'm not falling for it.
Well, no, you can't ignore the giant sniffling, coughing elephant in the room. But other than that, I'm doing all right. I just became the Pokemon Master, which is pretty good. That happened seconds ago. I've been working on that for days because that's what my life is right now, is playing a shit ton of video games, smoking a joint, and watching the day go by. Because what the fuck else is going on right now?
Yes. All right. Yes, we are in the midst of a pandemic of the coronavirus, or the COVID-19. So this is a weird time in life. It's been around for, as you all know, I don't know, a few months, I guess, or probably longer, 6 months, I guess, before it, probably before Christmas, where they started finding cases.
When you first started hearing little inklings of it, I think.
It's the Chinese virus. It's huge, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It comes from China. It'll go away.
God, even impressions of him just make the hair on my arms just stand on end. I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, Donald. Yeah, America's really bad right now. America's kind of fell off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, that's not good. I'm happy. Like, I'm trying not to keep too much of a tab on it, just to freak myself out. But I'm glad that Ontario's doing
You should
a
keep
little bit better.
You should keep a tab on it, though. That's what I've been doing ever since the beginning. Once it started coming, even when there's like, I follow like well, everybody does like a lot of news. Maybe you have a news app like a Global News or a CNN or something like that on your phone. I try and keep up to it, up with it. And I remember at the beginning, everyone was just like, "Oh, you know," because you don't really think that this, because we've never been in a pandemic in our lifetime.
No.
Like not to this extent. You know what I mean? Like, I'm older, so I remember like, well, everyone remembers like the bird flu and the swine flu and SARS, and even I remember back in the 80s, my mom, when HIV was out there, like when it first started coming in, and my mom, I remember my mom saying to my aunt, "It's the end of the world." I don't think I was supposed to hear that.
No,
But stuff like that. But all that, yeah, for sure. But it's never been to the point where it's like a pandemic where it's spread so fast, and now you have like social media where you can like follow it and track it and see it and stuff like that, and then you can go on your social media stuff like Facebook and Instagram, and everyone's talking about it, so you can keep in touch. So it's always there, and that's what we were saying last night. One of the bummer things, other than the actual virus being out there, is just how unbelievably it's just completely taken over everybody's. It's like when a young couple has a baby, and before they were talking about going out and getting loaded and shit, and then they have a baby, and when you talk to them, all they can talk about is their baby.
All they talk about is the baby.
So
The coronavirus is everyone's baby right now.
It's everyone's baby. That's
It's
all they talk
everyone's
about.
baby.
Look how cute no, it's not cute. Fuck.
Look at my hideous baby.
Yeah. So when it first came out, I was just like, you know, it'll be fine, because
We'll get over it.
The pig flu and the bird flu and all that stuff came and went and whatever, and that's kind of what Donald Trump was meaning, I think, you know. But I'm not the president. He's the president. He should have had a little bit more responsibility. I'm allowed to be a little bit more irresponsible, right? So I remember I was talking to some of the guys I know and friends, and I'm like, we're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. But now it's just like, wow, who knew?
Do you think, you're saying with all the social media stuff, do you think there's too much information?
Yes. Too much bad information. Fake news.
Oh, you're killing me.
I
with
have
that.
the best news.
You're
Who has
killing me
better
with that
news than me?
impression.
I have the best news. Real news. No, it's just like, I said this before. It's like, find a credible source for your information. Don't just like find some clickbait stuff on the internet, because there's tons of it right now.
Oh, of course.
Because the media is sheerly a TV show, and they are competing, and they love stuff like this. I'm not saying the human beings involved, but the machine that is the media loves tragedy, because it's work. It's a hell of a story, and they're always getting, and there's so many news outlets, like the bigger ones, like, I don't know, CNBC and CNN and that kind of thing, Fox News, but all the smaller ones who are just like, we'll post anything without facts, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you get it on the internet, and it's like, we're all gonna die tomorrow, and then 1,200 people on Facebook post that. Oh, they post the link to it, and then those people read it. And my big thing is just like, find information from a credible source. Like, call your councilman, it's 2020, like, tweet the prime minister.
You could tweet the prime minister. He's in quarantine. He'll probably tweet you back.
Right, exactly. It's like, just don't believe everything you read. And I'm not saying people do, but it's really sad when people take advantage of a situation like this for personal gain, or for, you know, like people who are like buying like the $19,000 worth of hand sanitizer, then trying to sell it on eBay. And so I find
they cracked down on that shit on Kijiji. They're not letting people do that.
Yeah.
It's getting flagged.
Well, that's good. And I find, they should flag fake media stories. I don't mean to sound like Donald, but it's true. It's just like they should, but you can't, because it's the internet.
Yeah, well, I think there's like some turn of phrase within the media. It's like something like, never let a good tragedy go to waste. Like, you can make, like, jump on it, and because it's still television channels trying to get you to watch, or news outlets trying to get you to tune in. So they have to have the most like sensationalist shit that you're going to want to tune in and watch over the other guy.
It is. It's exactly what it is. It's the world's oldest reality TV. So
and Donald's the king of reality TV.
That's right. But you
Oh,
have to,
God.
you just have to be smart and take, and we all know how to protect ourselves from this. It's like, stay the fuck home. Stay home.
It makes me so angry when I see stories of idiots going out or just like people just like derp out and about. Like the only time I leave my house is when I need something. Like
Booze.
yeah, I have been to I can count the places that I've been since this all started on one hand. I have been to my pharmacy, I have been to the grocery store, and I've been to the dispensary. That is it.
Yeah.
Those are all my essentials, and that's it. Other than that, like the only place I'm going is here. I'm either at your place or I'm at my place, and that is it.
And that's an A to B. Like, we don't stop
Yeah.
anywhere.
And
You
it's
know what I mean?
not Ubers. It's
Yeah. I don't want you to take Ubers anymore. There's just too many ins and outs. That's like the OC Transpo driver that
oh god.
the random OC Transpo driver tested positive for COVID. It's, you know how many people he's in contact? Like, how many people he's in contact with? Like, one person was in contact with him close enough. I'm sure they didn't touch the driver, but it's still, it
They
was,
caressed his face.
Yeah, exactly. Gave him a kiss on the ear or something, you know what I mean? No, it was just there, and it's just like, how many people, if someone can pass that on a city bus without touching the actual person, how many people came in and out of that bus who don't even know they have it? And that's the point. It's not the point of getting the virus. It's the point of not continuing the spread of the virus.
Yes.
That's the biggest thing, and that's what bothered me. The first thing that I saw, this is before it was actually announced as a pandemic, I was watching the news, and all those kids in Kingston went out for St. Paddy's Day.
Oh, that was awful. That made me so angry.
Yeah, and they were all like, it showed like scenes of them all clumped together, walking around, drinking and shit. And they interviewed this one kid who had this fucking green shamrock hat on
remember it,
and this green jacket, and the reporter says, "Are you? Don't you think that this gathering will contribute to the spread of COVID or the coronavirus?" And he's all drunk. He's like, "Of course it's gonna contribute to it, but it's not gonna stop me from partying. I'm healthy." And there's that one girl. She's like, "I'm on like natural supplements, so even if I get it, I think I'll be all right." It's like, how missing the point can you be? Or those people in like Florida who still went to like spring break, and you see those beaches in Florida. You wonder why America's so fucked up, and they have like, the biggest number of infected people is because they're just like, I won't say it. I'm not gonna say it because they're American, but it's just that mentality of like, you can't tell me what to do. I'm good.
Yeah.
Even if I get it, I'm young, I'm healthy. You can't stop me from partying. I'm going to the beach.
There's always going to be that group of people at any age where if you tell them to do something, doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter if it's in their benefit or not, they're just going to be like, fuck you, I do what I want. And there's always going to be that group of people. And unfortunately, that group of people right now are like throwing their middle finger up in front of this like kind of social distancing quarantine kind of thing, and they're gonna fuck everybody else.
Yeah, because all they're thinking about is themselves. Like, I
Yeah.
don't mean to beat this over the head, but they're thinking of like, well, even if I get it, I'm probably gonna be good. But it's like branches on a tree, right? It's just like, okay, so you get it, you 22-year-old drunk idiot. And then say you do take a fucking bus home from spring break, or a plane, or whatever transportation is out there, and you stop at a grocery store because you got to get some craft dinner for your shitty apartment. Then you visit your parents. Like, how many people did you infect? Yeah, you might get better, but how many people are going to go home to their people and just spread until like there's like martial law and there's like Humvees and tanks driving down the street who will like arrest you if you're outside of your house? How are you going to party then, fuckhead?
A friend of ours who's in politics right now, he happened to post an article on his, I guess, professional Facebook page with phone numbers to call and narc on groups.
Well, they should. That's good.
Yeah, there's an actual phone number where you can call and report groups of people gathering in large groups, like say a big old kegger. Or you can report things like restaurants that are still dine-in and stuff like that. Basically, you can call in and say, like, this group or these people or this establishment is putting people at risk.
That's good, because we need to call on the public, not just to stay home, but also, and you can call it narking. I know you just use that term as,
yeah.
I get it, but it's not. It's for the benefit of everybody. You know what I mean? And it's irresponsible to the business owner, and he's the one who should be fined or charged with something.
Mm-hmm.
And it's irresponsible of the people who still want to go out and pretend nothing is going on. Hey, let's just go out to the Le Coq. What's fucking the chicken place in Quebec? Le Coq. Le Coq. Let's go to Le Coq. And
Oh shit, what is it called?
I don't care. Wow, I don't care. But, you know, be responsible to your community and your fellow person. You know what I mean? Your fellow human being. And just, like, stay the fuck home. You know, if you need to go out and get groceries, go out and get groceries. Fine. But be cautious. You know what I mean? Wear gloves. If you want to wear a mask. I heard yesterday on CNN, the first of the debate was you don't really need to wear a mask. But now they're saying, it might be a good idea to wear a mask.
Well, it's not going to hurt you to wear a mask.
Well, I don't think so. Like, why not? At least it's another layer of something. You know what I mean? Where you're taking the means, you're being responsible to stop the whatever. You wear gloves, you wear a mask, you do social distancing, you wash your hands, that type of stuff. And every little bit will help. And you look at America, and they're a mess. And you look at Canada, and Canada we're not recovering by any means, but we're still pretty low.
Yeah.
And I think
with our population size and in places of great density, like population density, it's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah, and I'm not bashing America because because then I'd have to bash China and Italy and that kind of stuff. I'm just pointing out what I've read and what I've seen and what I've heard and, you know, my opinion on certain things. It's just people have to stop living in their little bubbles and get out there. In Italy, that's awful. Like, how many people have died in Italy?
It's unreal. And yeah, people just have to realize it's not fucking about you. You could be the healthiest motherfucker out there. It's not about you. It's about you passing it on to someone who is
It's
like
the spread.
immunocompromised.
It's all about the spread.
It's about the spread.
You have to stop it. And that means you have to not go out and party on the beach for a month or two.
Wah wah.
Well, it's true, you know what I mean? But see, I'm speaking from an age where it's just like it's very easy for me because I avoid people anyway.
Yeah, my entire social life has led to this moment where I'm like, I don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, like I go out when I need to for like shows and stuff, but normally I just basically sit at home and whatever. So I'm not saying my life hasn't changed because it has, because every time I step outside, I feel that weird feeling in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But I lost my train of thought there.
That's all right. It's boarding at the station.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't remember. That's okay.
It's all right. But yeah, how have you been dealing with being at home?
Oh, I know what I was gonna say. It was I speak from an age where I'm normally away from people. I know I can't put myself in a 20-year-old, because when you're 20, between like what, when you're late teenager, early 20s and shit, your life is so fucking social. You know what I mean? You go out, you do stuff. So I understand it's harder for some people. It's easy for me to sit here on my fucking throne and say, "Stay home, you dumb kids," but you know, there's a lot of peer pressure and a lot of bullshit when you're a kid.
Yeah, and I also can't imagine what this time is like for extroverts, because I am not one of those. Like, I am very much an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
My extrovertedness is in very controlled scenarios, like when I do theater, and like my show has just been postponed to, you know, knock on wood, earliest August, if everybody gets their heads out of their asses and we plank this thing. Worst case Ontario, we head to February. But like, other than that, I mean, all I want to do is kind of like have that be by myself time. So it's not that much. I'm going a little stir crazy, of course, but it's not that much of a struggle for me. So I can't imagine what it's like for people who need to be social.
Well, they should I understand that, but they should take advantage of the internet or social media and just, you know, and you've seen it, like people posting like live concerts from their bedroom, or just, you know, posting like live blogs, or, you know, just sitting there in front of the camera going, "Hey, everybody," and that kind of shit. I don't know.
That's kind of what we're doing right now, just shouting into the void.
Yeah, exactly. And we're just trying to, like, we're not trying to solve any problems. We're just speaking what we're going through. But this is an outlet. This is something that we can do to talk to people, you know, because a lot of people are just sitting inside looking for shit to do. But use the internet, you know, go on to Facebook Live and say hi to all your friends and start like a chat or something. It's still social. You're not touching people, but, you know, maybe you shouldn't.
Yeah. You go online, play your video games, snipe some fool, play your Animal Crossing,
That's
do all
it.
that stuff.
Okay, let's play a song. This is a song from a band called Life on Trial. They're a local band, and our buddy Blake's in it. This song is called Depressed, Aren't We All? This is Ego and Vice, episode 61. Hey, we're back. This is Ego and Vice, episode 61. A lot of changes in in just our everyday lives too. Is just like the NHL is done.
MLB.
Every major league sporting event, which is really weird, and they even said like they're just scrapping the season. Like the NHL, like we'll speak for hockey mainly because that's what we're Canadian, so that's what we're kind of used to, right?
I don't give a shit about anybody else.
Yeah, and I remember when they first kind of canceled it or just suspended it or whatever. It was like for 30 days or something like that. And now they've just scrapped the season, so there'll be like no Stanley Cup winner. Yet they've played 3/4 of the season, which is crazy.
That's wild to me. So I haven't done much research into it, mostly because I don't care that much. But it's interesting to me, like, are they going to carry over the standings?
What they did say is that they're going to use the standings for the draft.
Okay.
Based off the numbers. So Ottawa's in a good space because they were like second last in the league, so they'll at least get a good
Gross.
draft pick.
Oh my god. Okay, so they're going to start with the draft and then just go straight into the next season? Who was number 1? They got to be
Boston.
pissed.
Boston. Maybe they should just give Boston the Stanley Cup.
Paulie's going to be pissed.
Well, he still's got bragging rights, I suppose.
Yeah, but does it really mean anything if you don't have the cup with it?
I don't know. Well, a couple years ago we had that the lockout,
Yes.
so there was no winner then. It's just we didn't play any of the season. It's weird to put that much time in.
Was the whole season scrapped?
Yeah, we didn't play at all.
Fuck.
I didn't play at all.
You didn't get to lace up at all.
Yeah, I didn't lace them up. No, but yeah, it's weird. But who cares, man? Those guys are still making tons of money.
Yep. They actually get to stay home for a little while.
Yeah, and their giant mansions with their millions and millions of dollars. It's like, I didn't win the Stanley. Oh well,
They're going to stay home, realize they hate their family.
it's like drag. Yeah, drag. Too bad.
Oh, no.
We got a super long summer. Yeah, lots of sporting events and stuff like that. But you know what hasn't been canceled? WrestleMania.
Oh, Vince, you fucking
Yeah.
goober.
Me and Steph are pretty diehard wrestling fans, and we watch a lot of AEW.
Yes.
And not as much WWE, but WrestleMania is always the big one at the end of the year, and they've just been having wrestling shows, like WWE wrestling shows like Raw and SmackDown, and even AEW in empty arenas, which is a kind of a weird thing.
It is. It's a peek behind the curtain. I can't speak as much for AEW because they at least tend to have a couple dudes around the ring
Any crowd noise, even if it's like a few people, make a huge difference.
Yeah, so when the WWE, with all of their illustrious pageantry and all of their fucking talking, all of their spots, for all of that to happen with absolutely no feedback is really weird. And it feels like you're looking beyond it looks like you're watching, for me, it's like you're watching a rehearsal for a show that's not done yet.
Practice.
Yeah, it's like watching a rehearsal for a play that's gonna go up in like the next couple days, but it's not quite done yet.
Yeah, because wrestling is very crowd driven too, because it's like a performance and all the oohs and ahs and the crowd cheer.
Yeah,
and
like
stuff
a
and-
play. It's very
Yeah.
stagnant. It feels like people are just reading their lines.
Yeah, the thing with WWE too is that they're such a fucking giant that everything's so clean when you look at it too, right? Like when they have the shows with no people, it's like dead. It's like wrestling in a fucking library, except no one's in the library. Just dead quiet. All you hear is the announcer talking. At least with the AEW, they had people like making noise. It seemed a little grittier. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah.
It's just like, I don't know. But WrestleMania, yeah, they're supposed to have it at Tampa Field this year in Florida. And it was like sold out, 80,000 people
It's
or
all
something
pirate
like that.
themed. It was gonna be buck wild.
Yeah, and Vince McMahon actually held off for the longest time. I think it was the last major sporting event, call it what you will, that was actually canceled. But he didn't postpone it or cancel it. They still apparently it's filmed though, because it's all pre-taped. It's not going to be live. Like
Oh shit.
yeah, it's already done. Like it's already in the can.
Where's the magic?
Yeah, well, that's it. But they're gonna do it at something they have. It's called the Performance Center, which is like where their training center is basically
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah, it's like a.
It's where they all cut their teeth to get ready for the big show.
But instead of one night, they're doing it over 2 nights, and I'm very curious. We listen to Jim Cornette's podcast a lot.
I love that curmudgeon.
Yeah, he's a miserable prick. He's the best though. And he was just like, "Oh God," because he reviews like wrestling shows, and he's a longtime legend and wrestling veteran, but he just hates modern wrestling. But he's on his podcast. They watch him and Brian Last. They watch like today's wrestling product, and they
Just chew it up.
well,
It's-
yeah,
When they like stuff, they really like stuff.
Yeah.
But that's unfortunately a rare occasion. But I love hearing them tear shit apart, especially if they're tearing the same stuff apart that I fucking hated.
Yeah.
I was like, I know, right? You're just
Yeah,
yelling
yeah.
back at this podcast. But here's the thing. Here's so many things about WrestleMania. Number one, the fact that it's going to be 2 nights, which seems wildly unnecessary.
yeah.
But the fact that it is not at least postponed seems such a slap in the face to all of the big names that are finally getting their chance. And of course, I am talking about Drew McIntyre because he has worked so hard to get where
To
he
have
is.
that big win in front of who said he was going to win though. Anyway, no,
But-
that's just picking nits. Pardon me.
But to have him perform on what should be the biggest stage in sports entertainment,
The grandest stage.
I apologize. The grandest stage of sports entertainment. And we're not even sure if the beast himself, Brock Lesnar, is going to be able to get out of Saskatchewan to come fight
Yeah, he
him.
might not cross the border. No,
Shit.
apparently it's like I said. Apparently it's filmed. It's filmed. It's done. So it's all ready to go.
Is Brock going to Skype in fight him?
I don't know.
They're going to use a hologram.
Yeah, a hologram. Brock Lesnar. I don't know. It should be interesting. I'm gonna watch it just because I want to see what it's all about. But that's the funny thing about pro wrestling. And someone made a point. It's just like even through all the crisis of like everything, like even like 9/11, the next day wrestling did a show. They did like a tribute show and stuff like that. Hockey and all that. The world stopped, but wrestling has never stopped. It's just one of those things. Like you look at shows like, oh, the actors can't do this, and that. Wrestling nothing has ever stopped pro wrestling ever.
I am afraid of whatever stops pro wrestling.
Well,
That would be fucking terrifying.
short of a nuclear bomb, I don't think anything would, and Vince would find a way.
I really hope no one gets sick. because
Yeah.
that could stop it. And that's a scary thing to think about.
Well, no, there's some people that didn't go to the tapings because they weren't feeling well or something like that. Roman Reigns.
Right, because he's immunocompromised.
Yeah, because he had leukemia, and he's still on cancer fighting like medication and stuff, and he doesn't want to. So
No.
he pulled out of it, and there's a couple other people that were sent home and stuff just for the
It was him and Goldberg.
Yeah.
They were supposed to have a big.
Yeah, I'm not really gonna miss that one actually.
No, I actually don't give a shit about that fight whatsoever.
Anyway, enough about the wrestling. Nobody
All right.
cares. This is our little moment of fucking self-tug.
This is pretty masturbatory.
Yeah. But I'm worried about my sister lives in Brooklyn. She's in the fucking eye of the storm.
Yeah.
Like New York is crazy, and she lives in Brooklyn, and she has respiratory issues, and she is kind of hunkered down in her apartment and has been for a while. And people on her street in Brooklyn have tested positive.
That's some scary shit.
It's super scary shit. And my dad in Thunder Bay, at first, for the longest time, there hadn't been any cases in Thunder Bay, but just to show how far this thing is spreading and how it can go anywhere, there's been like 3 cases in Thunder Bay. And that's a pretty isolated place, at least in my brain it is. Some people may argue, but that's just my opinion. And my dad is going through cancer treatment, and it scares the shit out of me that he has to go to the hospital.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Every day, like he's 77 years old, and he has lymph node cancer or lymphoma,
Yeah.
and he still has to put on the mask and the gloves and get transported to the hospital and go for his chemo and his radiation. Yet, God knows, like 3 people have popped up in Thunder Bay. Who knows? Who knows how? I just it's scary to have my sister in that situation where she's vulnerable and she is like in the fucking lion's den.
Yeah.
And have my dad, who is so fucking vulnerable because he has cancer right now and he still has to go to like the hospital and stuff. And it's like, it's terrifying for me because those are the literally like 2 closest blood relatives I have in the world. So this is deep for me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what the cases out in Whitby are like. I kind of don't want to look at it too much because I'll freak myself out. But I mean, both my parents are still out there. My sister is staying with them. They've got my aunt staying with them, and she has not been in good health for forever. So she's literally staying with them because she'd normally live in Toronto, and she's staying with them in recovery because she was already sick with something else. And so they're all sort of quarantined in the house. My youngest sister lives in Toronto. All of us have been laid off from work because one of us is in hospitality, one of us is in the classroom, and me, I'm in the service industry. So we're all fucked.
No.
And we're all just like, my mom calls me every like 2-3 days. We just like, how are you?
Are you still there?
Yep. Are you okay?
No.
How's your money? You feeling okay?
Mm.
And I think she does that to reach out and connect with me as much as she does it for like just to sort of hear an outside voice.
Yeah.
Make sure everybody's okay.
Well, I'm still working. Like I still go to work every day.
You're an essential service.
Well, when that all went down, I work for Rogers in my day job when I'm not being like a super rad rock star. Nope. But yeah, that's what I do. That's what I've done for my day job for 11 years is I basically go to people's homes and set up their telecommunications and their security systems, and they've completely scrapped the security systems because they're non-essential right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still people need to be in contact, especially now that they are host-bound, you know what I mean, for TV and internet, because what are people going to do? So when Doug Ford basically said the state of emergency in Ontario, except grocery stores, liquor stores, and you, Rogers, man.
Yep.
So, but the funny thing is now is that we're not even entering the homes anymore.
And that's good. That's super good.
Made me feel good, but that's only like a week old. Like we were
you were going into people's houses and dealing with their shit.
Up to a week ago, we were still in people's houses, but we had like a lot of information from Rogers about what to do and what there's precautions to take, and we had a script that we had to ask the client before we would enter the home. Have you been out of town or overseas or wherever? Have you traveled in the last 14 days? Has anybody shown symptoms and stuff? And the call center, when they book the calls, they ask the people as well. So we have to just make sure that it's still in place. But now they've just said, under the circumstances, we can still provide you service, but it's going to be basically over the phone. And what I do is, say someone's getting their internet hooked up, they need internet, so I'd get to the house, I'd call them, I'd check everything outside, make sure that they have like cable signal.
Yep.
And then we have like these alcohol wipes, and we'll wipe down the equipment, which is still wrapped in like saran wrap, like it's in a package, and we can pre-authorize it on our computer. Then we put it on their doorstep, and we go back to our truck, then we call them back again, and then we walk them through it in the house. And I still get paid because I get paid by the job.
Yeah. How has that been? Have you had any calls where it's like someone just does not fucking get it?
A couple people. There was one woman who was really upset. She's like, and I get it, and I'm not gonna say anything negative about her, but because she flat out said, she's like, we're seniors, we don't understand what you're telling us on the phone.
Fuck.
And
that was what I was worried about.
Yeah, and it's gonna happen, right? But it's just like, let's try our best to figure it out. And she ended up just like canceling. It was just like, no. But
Brutal.
It's just like, it's not like you could call Bell. It's not like you can call a third party, because half the third party internet services are done through Bell or Rogers.
Yeah.
So it's all the same. It's like you can kick up a fuss and be like, no, this isn't gonna work for us. But you can't. There's nowhere else to call. It's not like someone else is going to be like, oh, yeah, we'll totally come in your house. It's like, no, it's law. It's against the fucking law.
Yeah, like this, it's not like you're trying to swindle them in any way. Like, you are trying your best. You're like, this is what I can do for you. I'm going to try and work with you to the best of my ability. I'm sorry if this is kind of a foreign concept to you. In terms of like the technology, which sucks, because I understand that, because I'm not super tech savvy.
Yeah, but it's also not rocket science either. Like some people, like I've actually sat, because I've sat on the phone with them, and I've talked them through to the point of like going down to the basement and connecting the cables and stuff like that, and they figure it out. They're like, oh, cool, and they do it, and blah 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 blah. And then they go upstairs, and I tell them to plug the modem in, and they plug it in. They're like, oh, it's working. And I'm like, there, you did it.
Good job.
You know what I mean? You did it.
Good job, buddy.
You want a job? It's not that hard. But I understand like seniors and stuff like that, because technology is a scary thing just because it advances so much. But the practical setup of actual cable it's really, really simple. And if they would just work with me, I would help them do it, and we could do it. And I have done it. But that's their prerogative. Just try before you freak out, and we'll help you. I'll help you.
Yeah.
The best I can.
Whereas me, I because I work in the service industry, my restaurant tried to hold on for a little bit, but I have technically been laid off since the 16th of March, and it's a fucking scary thing, man. Like, service industry already, like, it's not a pro ball career. Like, you are getting by the skin of your teeth. Like, it's a little different if you work in like a more of a high end place where you're making like crazy tips on things. But where I'm working, it's you're hourly, which is really good, and the tips that people want to give you. And yeah, I've been out of work since the 16th. My restaurant has just as of today started doing a limited takeout through Uber Eats, I believe. But unless I get in on that, and I'm their little goblin that punches things in for a couple hours a day, like I'm out of work until we can do these things again. I had to go through EI. I've never been on EI in my life, and I signed up for that. Thankfully, knock on wood, because of everything that's happened, they've streamlined it pretty easy because of coronavirus. So it's easy enough to sign up. That's a thing. If you are out of work right now and you've worked the same place for at least like a year, then go and sign up, because holy shit, they've made it pretty easy, and you can have money in your bank direct deposit within like 2 weeks. But if you leave it, I learned if you leave it for more than 4 weeks since you've been laid off, then you're fucked. And
because they have to take like the last paycheck or something, don't they have to do something? I'm not sure. And just to point out too, EI is not a point of shame either, people.
No.
It's like you have been paying the government. The money that you're getting from the government, you've already paid them your entire working life. And the government is there to help people. So don't be ashamed to like fill out that form. Because that's money you is earned. Like, you deserve that money.
Yeah, you've paid into it your entire working life. Like, this is what it is there for. And thankfully, the government has, they've put up rather than shut up. And they said, we're going to put together all of this money for all you schlubs that can't actually, like, go to work right now, which is most of us. Like, I'm unfortunately not in essential service. I'm in a place where we were one of the first things that actually had to get shut down because we were a restaurant, and it's a scary thing, and I hope it all goes through okay, because otherwise I'm going to have to turn to more nefarious ways of earning money.
Like porn.
That's plan B.
The cam girl. You'd be a fantastic cam girl.
Thank you. That is my solid plan B.
Yeah, and that's what I normally would do on my days off anyway, so I got lots of knowledge.
I've got an inside man.
Yeah.
How to set it up real good and squeeze those boys for as much money as I can make.
Yeah, squeeze them. I know I got some tips and tricks on how to make money.
Yeah.
And I've learned it the hard way by losing money.
Gotta squeeze those tips, get those tricks.
That's right. But yeah, I don't know. Fuck, man. It's definitely time for another song. This song is called Until the Day. It's from our boys in Off Their Heads out of Chicago, who are hunkered down just like the rest of us. Big shout out to Ryan and the boys. Hope you enjoy it. This is Ego and Vice, episode 61.
That's no place I'd rather be than anywhere else but here to
once again, we are back.
So I mentioned what I was supposed to be doing this next couple month. I'm involved in a show with Theater Kraken again called She Kills Monsters, which is an awesome D&D based play with a lot of sword fighting. I get to die a bunch of times. It's pretty fucking cool. I get to be a bugbear at one point. It was intended to go up mid to late May. And so now, of course, it has been pushed back until August. And hopefully that's when we'll be able to bring the show up. Again, plan C is to go up in February. But that was the only big thing of mine that I don't get to do right now. But you had a lot of stuff coming down the line, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, GOAT is the funny thing is that when the new year hit, I kind of made the decision to step away from GOAT for a little bit. GOAT is my other band, one of my bands, my main band. Just because I needed some time off, I didn't want to write music at the time, and I just didn't want to get together just for, nothing really coming up. I had booked a couple of shows and ended up canceling them, but the funny thing is they would have been canceled anyway because they were in that time frame. So there you go. But with the Riptides are always going strong. We had a hell of a spring, summer agenda or a list of shows. We were going to do Kingston, Toronto. We had Hope this year, but that's completely not off the table yet. But a lot of stuff has been canceled, and obviously for the right reasons and that. And we're still communicating. The boys.
Has Hope been canceled?
Not yet.
When does Hope go up?
Mid-July.
Okay, so there's still lots of time.
Well, sure. We'll see what happens, But chances are pretty slim. Who knows?
Just the sheer amount of people that go to that thing, the drunken shenanigans that happen at that place.
Well, a lot of those shows would have been really fun to hang out with the boys and just to play them and just to get out and stuff like that. But that's okay. We have some exciting stuff coming in October, which I'm not going to say just because if it doesn't happen, then whatever. But hopefully by maybe midsummer, end of summer, things will start getting back somewhat to a regular pace, and maybe by the end of fall, October, things will be, life is normal,
That's if all you fuckers stay home.
Yeah, you gotta stay inside, stuff like
Don't
that.
ruin it for the rest of us.
No, it's it's just I don't know. Just go with the flow and try and be smart and try to stay informed and do the right thing and stay home if you can. Don't go out frivolously just because you want to. But then again, take a walk through your neighborhood. Like if you live in a suburban area or something like that, then go out for a walk. If you don't want to stay in your house and stuff like that. But it drives me crazy is just like the vein or the route from my place to your place is straight down Bank Street through the Glebe.
Yes.
And yes, I'm out, but I'm in my car, and I basically go from my car, from my house to my car, straight to your place, straight upstairs. Wash my hands, whatever. I drive down the Glebe, and people are still, there's so many people just still out, just do. Drives me fucking nuts, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, I understand you live in the Glebe, but if you live on 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 5th Avenue, that kind of thing, stay in the suburban areas. Why do you have to walk down Bank Street? You know what I mean? Like, why do you have to crowd Bank Street on a time like this?
Yeah, stay off the main drag. Like, it's not worth it. Nothing is open, so stay off the main drag.
Yeah.
Just circle around into the old neighborhoods of the Glebe where no one's going to be out and about. Look at the beautiful houses. Look at the crazy architecture that you're never going to be able to afford. Like, just take a stroll down, the more leafy side of things.
Well, just unpopulated, because when you're on the sidewalks of Bank Street, you have to like pass people, and even if you're out, just by yourselves, like boyfriend, girlfriend, man and wife, boyfriend, whatever, like a couple.
Yeah.
Go for a walk, hold hands, whatever, stuff like that. But you don't have to do it in a populated area or make an area populated. No. For any reason. It's just like, and you know what? If you're stir crazy at home, jump in your car and go for a fucking boot. Go out to, I don't know, some nature spot, whatever. Park the car and just get some sun and breathe in the air. You don't have to do things in suburban areas or in populated areas.
Yep.
Or an area that can become populated because it's a trendy spot. Don't go walking down Elgin Street. Like, why? Don't do it.
No, it was nice when we were coming back from my place today. We drove down, what is it, the Queen Elizabeth, and seeing people out, like people were still out jogging, but that's a fine, large space where it's just like, yes, there's always going to be 6 feet between you. Like you really need to go out and run. Pick a place where you're going to have the maximum amount of space.
Yeah.
Don't go shuffling down Bank Street, down Elgin Street, down, pardon me, like Wellington or something like that, where you're going to encounter, the most amount of people. Just stay off the main drag.
And honestly, like we're picking at nits here. We're picking nits, but honestly, it seems extreme. Like, but aren't we in an extreme situation? And is it not growing daily? So maybe just make better choices. And I'm not sitting on some kind of pedestal knowing all the answers. I'm just trying to follow my own rules, and because in the long run we all just want to get back to normal. And the faster we can put aside urges to just be somewhere that feels normal, kind of embrace the how unnormal this is, so one day we can all look back and laugh at it and say, remember that time?
I'm not saying all of these things because knock on wood, I'm personally afraid of getting sick. Of course I am. But it's more like I want to get back to a place where I can go the fuck back to work.
Yeah.
I want to plank this thing so that I can get back to work, do the things that I need to do, and also, just stop worrying about the people that I know that are more susceptible to this.
That's right. And I feel the same way. I want to get back to staying at home.
Because you want to.
Because I want to. Anyway, that's going to be it. I think we've said everything we could need to say, and this has been a nice jump back into the Ego and Vice podcast.
It's been wonderful to be here.
And because we have nothing else to do with ourselves but stay inside and wash our fucking hands, weekly we'll try and release a podcast. I can't promise. Who knows? But I just renewed my Podomatic account, so I spent a lot of money that I didn't have that I could have spent on, like, toilet paper.
Yep.
Yeah. And stop hoarding toilet paper, you fucking what the
What's
hell?
the matter with you?
Yeah, use coffee filters like normal people. Anyway, but as for Steph Goodwin.
Hello. Thank you.
As for myself, my name is Mike. This is Ego and Vice episode 61. And everyone out there, you guys stay safe. See you next time.
Bye.
You've got a real attitude problem, McFly. You're a slacker.